You know, we just want to go out there, have fun, you know, and play our game. It's gonna win.
Do you feel that when you walk in the city, the excitement?
Oh yeah, of course. You know, all the fans are super nice, cheering you on as you walk through. You know, so I know everyone's gonna be locked in.
How well prepared do you guys feel after a couple weeks?
Yeah. I feel like we're ready. You know, we're ready. It's been a long training camp, and we want to go against somebody else, so it's gonna be fun.
Is there anything we didn't get to that you feel like you guys are still working kinks out of?
You know, there's always things you want to keep improving. You know, but we're gonna have to do that as the season goes on.
Does the start of this season, does it feel different than years past for you because of what you did last year?
You mean my time with the Kings, like last year and this year?
Yeah, and just like the success and the expectations are different this year.
Well, yeah, you know, last year, well, to be honest, this year no one really expects anything about us either, but just for ourselves, you know, we're competing for something big, you know, and we got to bring it from day one, and that starts tomorrow.
Tomas, last season you guys didn't get off to a great start to start the year. Is that a talking point this year to start fast?
No, we haven't even brought it up, you know, but by you mentioning it, you know, it's a good thing. It's a long season. We started 0-4 and we turned that around, so we just can't get down on ourselves however the season goes, you know, but I'm confident in these guys and we're going to come out strong.
Tomas, there are no expectations for you.
It's better. We're not in the media, but you know, we just got to play our game, you know, win games, and put ourselves in the best position to play.
Tomas, Mike kind of jumped you guys a little bit there. I mean, how receptive were you to that kind of criticism before the opener tomorrow?
Well, it's good. You know, I feel like our last 2 days haven't been our best. You know, guys are trying hard, but things aren't working. You know, but having a talk like that, your coach calling you out is good. You know, it's going to bring that extra fire and energy to the game tomorrow.
What do you attribute that to? That guys, even like you said, guys are trying their best, but maybe the results aren't there right away.
I don't know. People might be excited for tomorrow. I don't know. You know, but you know, we're all here working. As you see, everyone's still getting shots, and we just got to rest, clear our minds, and tomorrow come out and play hard.
What was the message there? What was he upset about?
Oh, we just got to come out and play defense. You know, play a little scrimmage. Everyone scored on every possession, you know, and that's not the way we want to play. You know, that's what we did last year, and we can't expect that this year.
Where do you see kind of like the biggest improvement over these past few weeks that is noticeable to you?
I think our chemistry on defense and on offense. You know, we all know each other pretty well now, and we can get on each other more and more. You know, because that comfortability to like talk to each other and call each other out is there. So I feel like that's just going to make us better.
You have a unique perspective, having played with Chris before and having played with Kevin last year. Just how different are they to work with when you're dealing with the two shooting guards that are kind of competing for the spot?
Well, to be honest, like it's been normal, you know. Chris unluckily got hurt, so that transition was very quick. You know, it was only a couple of days, so they're all locked in. They're all team players, you know. They're all putting work in, so when they come here, they just come out and compete.
Is there a difference between them when you're the center setting them up?
Like how it is for me? Two completely different players, you know. Two different players. I got to put the ball in different areas for each one and what they like.
How is Chris looking to you? Does he kind of look like himself again?
Yeah. You know, today I think it was his first practice back with contact, you know. So obviously he's got to get in rhythm, you know, and get in shape, get everything back, you know, feeling good.
What are some of the challenges that come with a season opener, starting a new long season?
I don't know. I think nothing. How we started last year, you know. I mean, we just got to come out and just play our game.
How do you look at Utah overall, just the Jazz in general for this season?
They're a very tough team, you know. A lot of length, a lot of talent, you know. And it's going to be a tough game. You know, last year they played us a lot in zone, mixed things up, you know, played a different game. So we got to be prepared for anything tomorrow.
After all your years in the NBA, do you still get excited for opening day?
Of course, yeah. It's been an exciting training camp. You know, there's a lot of hype within us for the season, and we want to do something special. So we're all excited.
You mentioned Utah's zone defensive now. Are you guys working on kind of combating that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sorry. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, in training camp, preseason, they haven't really done it a lot. But you don't know, like they played against us a lot in that defensive team. So we just got to be prepared for everything.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Thanks so much.
Good luck this season.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
What are the emotions? What's the level of excitement out of this?
I think guys are ready. We want to be the most prepared going into the season. Obviously, we still have things that we need to work on, but I think for the most part, guys are ready for the count.
What are some challenges that come with starting a new year and the long road ahead?
For sure at the beginning of the season, obviously guys are usually excited. You see big performances a lot in the first few weeks of the season, and then obviously it starts to settle down a little bit. Defense is starting to get better. Guys aren't as hot as they once were in the beginning of the season, but that's kind of what comes with the beginning of the season. Guys are excited to finally get out there and have games that start to count, and that's when you see real big performances from obviously guys who aren't, I guess, considered elite, but then things start to kind of trickle down to the norm as you start to get to the middle of the season.
We know what your expectations are going into the season, but is it surprising to you that your expectations from the outside for the playoffs are so low?
No, I've seen some that have make playoffs, some that didn't have to. That is what it is. Obviously people don't talk about injuries, and some teams aren't healthy, some teams are healthy. At the end of the day, that's the nature of all sports. Star players get hurt all the time, role players get hurt all the time. Like, it happens every year. So that's not something that we're worried about, but we continue to come in here, we work on ourselves, we're not worried about what anybody else thinks.
Along those lines, is there a curiosity in the way the West is will take shape, or do you kind of have a sense of what to expect?
We know that teams have gotten better. The West continues to be tough. But no, at the end of the day, we worry about ourselves. We go out there, we play our game. We know that if we're better defensively, we can play with anybody and we can compete for a championship.
You had Mike, obviously, with some strong words after practice today. How receptive do you think the team is before tipping things off tomorrow?
Well, I hope we are. We just did some situational stuff and started down 4, 2 minutes left, and I think we scored every possession except for the one that I think that Chris turned over and then the free throw that I had. We scored every single possession before that. So we have to be better, especially if we're going to be in those type of situations down the stretch. You have to be able to get a stop. We know that we just can't go in and just outscore people.
We don't see that side of Mike very often. How often do you guys see that side of Mike?
A lot, for sure, especially when you're going through like drill work where it's probably not as intense, like going against the coaches or whatever it may be, and something's not going right. Drills can last a lot longer than they usually would if it's going right.
You obviously have a lot of confidence with this team, though. Are there many concerns before kind of these first couple weeks of the season? Or
I wouldn't say concerns, but we know that we have to be better on the defensive end. I think that's where our season lies, and that's where it lied last year. We got to the playoffs, we were better defensively, but now it's like we didn't have both things happening at the same time. And even last year, like on the road, we were better defensively. We weren't as good offensively, and at home, we were better. We were the best team offensively, but we were one of the worst defensively. So we have to try to find that common ground at some point if we want to be able to win.
How do you make sense of that? What you just said, being good on defense on the road, but
I don't know. I really don't know. There's nothing that I can really say that makes it make sense. We just need to be consistent. I feel like that's always the word. That's always the word that you're going to find in sports, is trying to find that consistency. And we have to find that if we want to be able to compete at a really high level.
From the start of training camp to today, where would you say is the biggest area of growth that you've noticed with this group?
I think with a little bit of the new offense, I think we've gotten better at it. Obviously, we put a few more things in that we had last year, so that kind of helped. But I think definitely learning a bit of a new offense has gotten better.
Fox, last year you guys started off 0-4. This year, is that a conversation at all, trying to get off to a better start?
We haven't talked about it, but no one wants to start off 0-4. But we feel like we're ready to hit the ground running. Guys have gotten together this summer, and we feel like we got a bit of a head start. So I think guys are ready.
What is your expectation defensively for yourself this year?
Just continue to just try to be disruptive. Try to be top 10 with deflections. I was top 10 in steals before. I was top 5 in steals once before. So just be able to cause disruption. I think that, and Mike always talks about it. Being the head of the snake, you just being able to pick up, and it's not even really about getting steals. It's really just if we can have them running their offense at 15 rather than at 20, like that's a win for the defense.
And then your offseason work with Keegan, was any of it surrounding getting him to the line more?
It's really being aggressive from the get-go. Getting to the basket, trying to be able to finish, and once you're not worried about the contact, like fouls will come. And even if you don't still being able to finish the contact. So I think that kind of plays a part in it. You're not really looking for the foul. You're not worried about it. You'll end up getting to the line.
De'Aaron, I'm gonna ask you again. I just don't want to be dwelling on it too much. Just one more time, because I know you've been working out in the weight room. But have you been looking at other tapes or how people be posting up other players? Because it seemed like you got a knack to understand that along with your strength.
Yeah, at times I'm able to get into the post. I think a lot of times it's a little different for me because I usually have someone that's 6'7", 6'8" guarding me, so it's a little bit different. So I pick and choose my spots when I do get to the post. Obviously, I'm a lot more comfortable inside the arc, and with my footwork, the way that I'm able to play, the way that I'm able to get open and just create advantages, I feel like that's an area in my game that's really grown a lot.
So that's something you really done worked on then?
Yeah, I definitely. I work on that a lot. Like being able to catch the ball a little bit closer, just being able to be in a triple threat. So now that when Domas is coming to set a screen or JaVale's coming to set a screen, I have a live ball rather than trying to fight off a defender while you're already dribbling the ball. It definitely is a lot different and easier than people actually kind of know.
And the reason I say that because Bledsoe a few years ago. I'm not saying he taught you anything, but maybe Eric Bledsoe a few years ago when he was trying to post you up and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, being able to play against guys like him and Russ, like that adds a dynamic to a guard when you're able to post up.
Mike has talked about your
Last
defense,
one, Jason, make it quick.
and I just wondered from your perspective, like, is that a big part? Like, is that the next step in your growth and maybe the growth of this team too?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be one of the better two-way players in the league. I mean, offensively, I feel like I can get whatever I want, and defensively, I feel like I've showed at times that I'm really good at lockdown. So for me, it's just trying to be able to do that for as long as I can. Be one of those players. End of the game, it doesn't matter if we need a stop or if we need a score. I want to be that go-to guy to either have the ball or defend the ball.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate that.
Something. I like what you said, though.
Mike, what are the emotions like ahead of the season opener?
I think they're fine. I feel our guys understand that the areas where we need to be better in, and I feel our guys understand what our identity should be at the end of the day. But they're excited to go play some real games. I think
The emotions and the excitement and all of that is that the same year in year out? Whether you made the playoffs last year, you won the championship, you missed it. Is it always an exciting time to start the season?
Yeah, I think for every team, every team has hope and optimism at the beginning of the year, and probably about a third of the way through the season, that's when stuff starts to settle down a little bit, and teams begin to start separating themselves from each other at that point in time, and then by the All-Star break, that's when you know that these teams are going to stay with it, and these teams are going to kind of give up.
Like, we heard you kind of go off on your team. What was the message coming out of whatever this is, training camp or preseason heading into the regular season?
It's the same message. We have to defend. I know we can score. We got talented players with a really good feel on that end of the floor, and whether we finish in top 5 offensively, top 10 offensively, or best of the team that we did last year, or I think that will happen. I'd be surprised if it doesn't, because we're for the most part playing the same way, but defensively, I know for me, I'm not going to sit here and watch us play the same way we did defensively last year without making changes.
Was it a regression, or is it just something that you're trying to really emphasize before the tipping things off?
It's kind of both. You're never going to be in a situation with a group of people where it just goes like that. You're going to hit some bumps or some curves or some adversity, which at the end of the day I like, because I want to see if you can look a challenge on and take it on and overcome it, or you can look at some adversity or take some adversity on and overcome it as a group. So I'm okay with the setbacks, and I plan on us having some setbacks, and hopefully they get pissed at me and they all rally and say, F you, Mike. You know, and go do it together. I'm okay with that.
Coach, who have you seen?
My grandson that always like me.
Who have you?
Always like me.
Right.
If he don't, I'll buy him a toy.
Right.
Who have you seen? Who has improved since the first day of training camp to now defensively? You would say.
I think everybody has, but again, they're not. Everybody's not going to always be here. You know, that's the tough part. We're going to have some slippage in life. Just in general, in life, slippage can be invisible. You know what I'm saying? If you're not careful, it can happen, and if you don't address it, in my opinion, it can sneak up on you, and then it'll be too late to try to fix it. So I'm looking for any slippage at all at any time, and if I see it, I'm going to address it. Because in order to go from good to great, you have to lock in on the details. You got to focus. One of the things you have to do is you got to focus on the details, and you got to appreciate how important those things are. And which means that anytime something small happens, you're just not gonna be like, okay, that's fine. We'll be good. I just messed up. Well, no. It happened. Let's address it, and let's understand how important it is, so that it doesn't happen again as often as it had been going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a zero tolerance, basically.
Zero tolerance right now, and I shouldn't be the only one having a zero tolerance. Everybody on that floor should have a zero tolerance, and that's what I want to make sure we get to.
Do you want some of those guys to call it out so you don't have to?
Yeah. Heck yeah. Your best teams, or the best teams I've been on, have that internally, because that peer pressure, that's a mug to have.
Are you specifically more on Fox and Domas to do that, or is it everybody?
It starts with Fox and Domas for sure, but everybody falls in line to that. It can be anybody. In Golden State, it was Andre Iguodala. You know, I was in Cleveland way back in the day. This guy wasn't even starting for us. It was Eric Snow. You know, so it can be anybody at any time.
You've talked about Fox's defense, and he sounds like he's committed to that. How big a part of that is that in terms of his growth is you know, someone who's becoming an elite player in this league, and also the team's ceiling?
No, it's huge. He's gonna have to, which he has shown he's more than capable of, and he's done it so far. He's gonna have to make strides defensively. He's going to have to make strides with his leadership, and he's done both of those, in my opinion, with a pretty big leap in just a matter of a year. But he's going to have to continue, and I'm going to be on him to continue, because in order for us to be great, he's got to be great, basically every night or every time we step on the floor.
Mike, in seasons past, or at least last season, you've broken up the season into 5-game increments. Are you carrying that into this year, and what is the, I guess, goal for these first 5 games?
Yeah, no, we're. I don't want to necessarily try to project, and we will a little bit, like project. This is what needs to happen these 5 games. It's more to look back on the 5 games than anything else and say, okay, hey, we slipped here, let's get better for the next set. Because when you start projecting, anything can happen. Now, the part that we do project is 5-0, great. 4-1 is pretty doggone good. Okay, we'll take 3-2, but anything less than that, it's going to be hard to live with. And obviously, we got to live with it because it happened last year, and it's going to happen. But we want to stay away from that.
Couple more guys.
Mike, we see Chris back out on the court today. Just how does he look? Number one, number two. How open is that position going forward? Still, is it decided what's going to happen on opening night, but maybe even Friday or Sunday?
Kevin's going to start, and every time we practice, every time we have shoot around, it's my job to evaluate the team. And I told the group there, I said, I know for sure I'm not going to sit back and watch us play the same way we play defensively without making changes. It doesn't just mean Kevin. It can mean anybody. Obviously Fox and Domas, a little harder to make a change there, but that can mean anybody, and not just with the starting 5. It could be with the 8th guy in the rotation. Well, if he can't bring it defensively, maybe we need to put somebody else in his spot. But our team, from top to bottom, has to understand that we got to defend, and we don't. and will not finish 25th or 26th defensively as a team.
When you look at Utah, they of course got a little bigger call-ins. They're long, athletic, play some zone. What's kind of your view on that team and the challenges they present?
Will does a great job. They run a lot of really good stuff. Their ball movement is good. They have guys that can go get it one-on-one situations off the dribble. They get guys that can shoot it. Like you said, they are long, and so they pose some challenges defensively. They jump it up a little defensively too with the way they play their zone and the way they slice the corners. And so it's a good test for us. Obviously, that altitude is a little different there, and at the end of the day, that's real. But that's where you have to have a mental toughness, a mental discipline to go in there and not let it impact you. So they got some different things that can give us headaches. But if we go and we play the way we're capable of, and I feel this against anybody, we should give ourselves a good chance to come out of any arena, especially our home arena, with a victory.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Mike.
Thanks,
Good luck
guys.
this year. Thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Okay, I got Matt coming tomorrow.